I went home and I sat in the guest room for exactly 1 hour. Not to cry, not to spiral. I had already done both of those things, and neither one had given me anything useful. I sat there to think, to line everything up in order. Every conversation, every detail, every moment that had felt slightly off, and that I had talked myself out of questioning, because loving someone has a way of making you generous with your doubts. And when that hour was up, I walked down the hall and knocked on our bedroom door. Marcus opened it like he had been standing on the other side, waiting. I looked at him, this light-skinned man with the kind eyes and the solid build and the warm smile that had taken its time getting there, but always changed his whole face when it arrived. And I felt everything and nothing at the same time. I said, "I know everything, Marcus. I need you to know that before you decide what to say next. I know about your father. I know about the debt. I know your real last name. And I know exactly why you walked into that gym 3 years ago and started a conversation with me." He did not flinch, did not look away, did not reach for an excuse. He just nodded, once, slow, like a man who had been waiting for this moment and had made peace with it a long time ago. He sat down on the edge of the bed and he told me everything. He said, "My father came to me 2 years after Jordan left you. He told me about the debt, about your mother, about what she had cost him. And he told me that the most direct way to make Diane Ibarra understand what she owed was to get close to the one thing she loved more than anything else in this world." He said, "I knew who you were before I ever walked into that gym, Simone. I had been watching from a distance for weeks, deciding whether I could actually do it, whether I could look a woman in the eye and build something false and call it a relationship. I asked him if he could. He said, I thought I could. For about 3 months, I told myself it was just a job, just a mission, just something I owed my father for every birthday he missed and every door he never opened, and every year I spent growing up as the son Robert Ellis kept hidden like something shameful." Then he looked up at me and said, "And then you told me about your grandmother. Do you remember that? That Sunday afternoon on my couch when you talked about her for 2 hours and cried twice and laughed 4 times and fell asleep before you even finished the story. And I sat there watching you sleep and I thought, I cannot do this. I cannot take something from this woman, because this woman is real in a way I have never encountered before in my life." I did not say anything, because I remembered that Sunday, every detail of it, and I remembered waking up to find him still there, not gone, not uncomfortable, just there, with a blanket he had put over me and the television turned low. He said, "I came to you with an agenda, Simone. I will never be able to take that back, but I stayed because I love you. And everything real between us, every moment, every promise, every morning, that was never part of the mission. That was just me, loving you in the only way I knew how after a lifetime of not knowing how at all." I believed him. I hated that I believed him, but I did. I stood up from where I had been sitting and I looked at him for a long moment. And then I asked him, "Did you know who Jordan Ellis was to you when your father sent you to me?" Something moved across Marcus's face. Not guilt exactly. Something older than guilt. something that looked like the particular pain of a wound that had never been allowed to heal properly. He said, "I found out about Jordan when I was 19. My father sat me down and told me I had a brother, a legitimate son, the one he had claimed, the one who got the name and the presents and the father who showed up. He told me like he was giving me information I should be grateful for, like knowing I had a brother somewhere who had everything I did not was supposed to make me feel less alone." He looked at his hands. He said, "So yes, I knew. I knew Jordan Ellis was my brother before I ever walked into that gym. And I will not stand here and pretend that knowing did not make me want to do it more, because it did. Jordan got our father's name and our father's time and our father's love. I got a mission. And for a long time, taking you felt like the only way to make that mean something." The room was completely still. I walked to the bedroom door and put my hand on the frame. I said, "Jordan does not know you exist, Marcus. He does not know your father had another son. He does not know that the man his father sent to destroy my life is his own brother." Marcus went very still. I said, "I am going to tell him, not for you, not for your father, but because Jordan Ellis deserves to know the truth about his own family, even if nobody in this situation has seen fit to give anyone the truth they deserved." Marcus said, "Simone, if you tell Jordan, my father will know the plan failed. And when my father knows the plan failed, he stops being patient." I looked at him one last time. I said, "Then he stops being patient." And I walked out